I'm going to tell you about a tiny coin that most people would ignore, yet some collectors spend years hunting for the perfect example. The 1988 Lincoln penny without a visible mint mark looks ordinary at first glance. It sits in jars, piggy banks, and old coffee cans across America. Millions of people have handled one without giving it a second thought. But hidden inside this common-looking coin is a story that keeps collectors searching through pocket change even today. In 1988, the United States Mint was producing enormous numbers of Lincoln cents. These pennies featured the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. Most were struck in Philadelphia or Denver. Coins from Denver carried a small D mint mark. Philadelphia coins usually had no mint mark at all. That is where the mystery begins. A 1988 penny with no mint mark is technically a Philadelphia issue. On the surface, there is nothing unusual about that. The Philadelphia Mint produced billions of pennies that year. Because of those massive numbers, most 1988 no-mint mark pennies are worth only a few cents. But collectors rarely stop at what appears obvious. As coin experts examine thousands of 1988 pennies over the years, they notice something strange. A tiny detail hidden in certain examples suggested that not every coin was exactly the same. Some pieces appeared to have been struck using a die linked to a different mint mark design than expected. To the average person, this sounds insignificant. To collectors, it sounded like buried treasure. The excitement centered on what became known as the 1988 double die reverse variety. On these rare coins, careful examination reveals doubling in parts of the lettering on the reverse side. It is subtle. It is easy to miss. But once identified, it transforms an ordinary penny into a highly sought-after collectible. Imagine finding a coin worth 1 cent and discovering it could sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on its condition. That possibility is exactly what keeps treasure hunters checking every penny they find. The story becomes even more fascinating when you understand how these errors happen. Coin dies are made through a complicated manufacturing process. During production, tiny mistakes can occur. When the design is transferred incorrectly, doubling may appear on the final coins. Once those coins enter circulation, they mix with billions of normal examples. Years pass. Decades pass. Most people never notice anything unusual. Then collectors start looking closer. Suddenly, a coin that spent years sitting unnoticed in a drawer becomes the center of attention. The 1988 Lincoln cent is particularly interesting because many examples circulated heavily. People used them to buy snacks, pay parking meters, and make exact change. Every day of circulation added scratches, wear, and damage. As a result, truly high-grade examples became much harder to find than many people expected. Condition is everything in the coin world. A worn 1988 no-mint mark penny might be worth almost nothing beyond face value. But a sharply struck example with strong luster and minimal marks can command significantly more. Professional grading services carefully evaluate these coins and assign grades based on preservation. The highest grades are where things become exciting. Collectors compete fiercely for top-quality specimens because there are far fewer pristine examples than there are ordinary circulated ones. When demand meets scarcity, prices can climb rapidly. Some certified 1988 Lincoln cents in exceptional condition have sold for hundreds of dollars. Rare varieties and premium-grade examples have achieved even stronger results. The exact value depends on factors like rarity, condition, market demand, and certification. That possibility fuels the dream. Every time someone dumps a jar of old pennies onto a table, there is a moment of hope. Most coins will be ordinary, but one coin might be different. One coin might have a valuable variety. One coin might tell a story hidden for decades. The Lincoln cent series itself adds another layer of fascination. Introduced in 1909, the Lincoln penny became one of the most recognizable coins in American history. Generations grew up carrying them in their pockets. They witnessed wars, economic booms, technological revolutions, and countless everyday transactions. By 1988, the coin had already been part of American life for nearly 80 years. Yet even after decades of production, surprises still appeared. That is one reason collectors love the series so much. New discoveries continue to emerge. Hidden varieties are identified. Forgotten hoards are uncovered. Seemingly common dates suddenly attract attention because of a tiny detail nobody noticed before. The 1988 no-mint mark penny perfectly captures that excitement. At first glance, it appears completely ordinary. There is no silver content. There is no gold. It does not look ancient or exotic. It lacks the dramatic appearance of many famous rare coins. And yet people continue searching for it. Why? Because rarity often hides in plain sight. The most valuable treasures are not always locked inside museums or buried beneath the ground. Sometimes they are sitting in a coin jar worth less than $1. Sometimes they are mixed into a roll from the bank. Sometimes they are resting in a collection inherited from a family member. Collectors understand this better than anyone. They know that a tiny difference can separate a common coin from a remarkable one. A doubled letter, a misplaced design element, an unusual die variety. These details create stories, and stories create value. That is exactly why the 1988 Lincoln penny remains a favorite among treasure hunters. Every coin represents a mystery waiting to be solved. Was it struck normally? Does it contain a rare variety? Has it survived in unusually high condition? Could it be one of the examples collectors have been searching for? Those questions turn an ordinary penny into an adventure. Even today, people continue examining their change, hoping to uncover a hidden gem. Most searches end with disappointment, but occasionally someone finds something special. A rare variety emerges. A pristine example appears. A forgotten coin suddenly becomes valuable. Those discoveries keep the hunt alive. The next time you see a 1988 Lincoln penny without a mint mark, take a closer look before tossing it aside. Check the details. Study the lettering. Examine the condition, because what appears worthless at first glance could hold a surprising secret. And that raises one final question. If you opened an old jar of pennies right now, would you find an ordinary cent? Or a hidden treasure that collectors have been searching for all these years?